Hey everybody, Corrado Arangio here, and I'm here with Jason Lamb from CentreCourt Developments. In this video, we're going to talk about CentreCourt's latest project, 55 Mercer. Jason's also going to talk about CentreCourt, and they've had a killer year in 2019, right? They're making a lot of noise in the business. But before we talk about all this, I want you to share your story and how you got into the business.
Okay, so I started in my career 10 years ago, and that's when CentreCourt started. At 101 Peter. And ironically enough, 10 years later, I worked for CentreCourt, but I was a receptionist at their first ever project at 101 Peter. I think when I was 15 or 16, a realtor paid me $200 flat fee to sleep outside overnight in order to line up and secure an opportunity to get units for her client to buy. It's actually in City Place.
Wow.
And that was a long time ago. And I remember there were these lawn chairs with business cards, and no one's sitting in them.
Was this in the winter?
It was it was cold. We actually ran a 200-foot cable across City Place, found somewhere to plug it in, plugged in a heater, and then there were 5 or 6 of us actually sitting in line while there were just a bunch of placeholders. People were take off their shoe and it's this is my place, and they'd walk away. And then we started selling our electricity to people because they needed a phone charger or something. So we were young and we were
awesome.
Entrepreneurs and looking for opportunities. So
let's talk about CentreCourt.
Okay, happy to.
So I know you guys are killing it in the business. You've been in business for about 10 years. The company's been in business for 10 years, right?
2020 is our 10th year anniversary. And I think from a execution perspective, in the last 10 years, the last decade, we've launched a number of projects in AAA locations that speak very true to public transportation, high unemployment, infrastructure, institutions, growth nodes. And I think there's just a lot of developers that haven't had that opportunity to execute the way we've been able to. And I think that speaks volumes to the organization and the leadership and the vision that they have. And I think the next decade is going to be even more, there's going to be a lot more opportunity in the next decade.
So let's talk about 55 Mercer. The area is incredible. It should be called a tech district instead of the entertainment district, I think, in my opinion now. Because I grew up in that era during when all the clubs were basically back to back to each other. But it's right in the center of Toronto. If you were to put a dot in the center, that would be it, right?
Easy Google search, right? We're redeveloping Gretzky's and Second City, which are staples. They're institutions in the community that help elevate the pocket. And make it known, and we're here to sort of carry that forward and try and bring it to a whole other level. And it's easy if you go on Google and you search it. It's on a map. It's very, very clear that you're within walking distance, 600-700 meters to the CN Tower. If that doesn't tell you how close you are, as our beacon of being the most central part of Toronto. It doesn't get closer.
And Mercer's an amazing street. It's almost like a private road, right?
It flies under the radar. And you're gonna get a bunch of exposure with Nobu coming through. You've got the hotel there on the north side. And I think I think all of it. King Street West, Blue Jays Way, Mercer, Wellington, it's such a unique pocket. But you're right, it is a very low-key address, but again, at the same time, it's got just a great elegance to it. We've got 18,000 square feet of amenities of indoor and outdoor. We've always tried to focus on having a big, beautiful gym that is functional. More importantly, that's 24 hours. And we've integrated a really cool program, never been done before, and we're bringing Peloton into our building.
Awesome.
Which is really unique, and it speaks to the tech district as you were talking about. I'm sure we'll get to that. We've got an outdoor basketball court, which no one has. Try and get a pickup game today in the downtown core. It's very hard to find, and it's amenities like that I think you're going to get people talking about. People that when they go see a rental or they want to buy in this building, that's going to be a thing that they're going to be able to say, that's I've never seen that.
Yeah.
It's super rare.
Yeah.
And then we have this really cool, ultra exciting partnership with Faff and Motor.
Yes.
So if you're a car fan, I think it speaks to our central location, not you personally needing a car, and us giving you an opportunity to take advantage of not just having cars, but really nice luxury vehicles.
Yeah.
And the two programs are an on-demand luxury vehicle service, which is, they'll deliver from a host of options between Modus and Faff to the building for you to use for as long as you'd like.
Yes.
For a fee. And then in-house, you don't have to order. We've got an EV car share program, and it's going to be maintained, managed, and operated by Faff, who's an industry leader in ultra luxury vehicles. So
how do you see the real estate market in the next 5 to 10 years?
That's
in Toronto.
That's a tough question, right? I think one of the key themes is population increase, right? Like we're a safe place for a lot of people to immigrate to. Over the last 3 to 5 years, we've continuously heard that we continue to have a great immigration numbers. 1 million over 3 years. It changes over time, and and a lot of these immigrants, they settle in, but you get a lot of people that flock to the GTA. You get people within Canada, Canadians, that migrate into the GTA, and they're generally attracted to the core. They see the skyscrapers, they see all the energy and all the employment opportunities, and they come to the core. And we are just not able to build fast enough to give that supply. So, which is why you're seeing pricing go up. Pricing never goes up because there's lots of supply. Pricing goes up because there's a ton of demand and not enough supply. You've already seen what it looks like. I think you're looking at 2020, and you get the feeling that it's going to be a really big, strong year, not just in pre-construction, but in resale.
In resale as well.
We're becoming a world-class city. Businesses that are global brands are coming to Canada, and they're coming to Toronto. And they set up shop in the core.
I have a question to ask. I get asked this question all the time from a younger generation. People in their early 20s, they want to get into real estate. They want to become an investor.
Yes.
What's your advice to somebody that wants to do that?
Boy,
it's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
But
I think it all comes down to investing early, finding the right pockets, making sure that whatever you buy, the first thing that you buy, let's assume that you've got some capital before, save, borrow, leverage. But whatever you buy, your first one needs to be the right one.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you don't want any risk. You don't want to feel uncomfortable, or not that you would. In this amazing market, but I think if you're gonna, for example, if I'm buying a condo, I want to know that I can rent it. I want to know that if times are not so good, that there's a whole other industry and there's a bunch of other people that I can attract.
Exactly.
I want a location where I don't need to go find a renter. I don't need to beg for a renter. Renters are banging down my door and asking me, and bidding war. So if you're gonna invest in something, you want to get into the market, it's more paramount than ever, and it's always been. I think that's the interesting part about our market, is that the core principles get watered down and fade away because there's just so much to talk about, and there's so much noise, and there's so much stuff coming online. There's so many stories and angles. Is location, location, location.
Yes. No, that's great advice, because my story is when I first bought my first property in Florida, I bought it during a market crash, and what I learned from that is that you actually get there's more tenants, there's more people looking to rent.
That makes sense.
And rents actually go up.
Yeah, right. Obviously, when people are kicked out of their home, they still need to live somewhere.
They still need to live somewhere.
And so rent becomes, everyone's renting. So there's a huge opportunity.
And in areas like 55 Mercer, rents are going to go up a lot more, right? So
again, and it just comes down to how many opportunities over the last 5, 6, 7 years have there been to buy a location like this. We're talking about hundreds of units, maybe 1,000. And in the grand scheme of selling 20,000 a year on average, it's minuscule. Right? It's nothing relative to what we see on a yearly average. So, when you sort of stack that up and it compounds, you don't get these opportunities very often. And for you to put one of these in your portfolio, I think you can rest assured that renting that out will be of significant ease.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Always.
If you guys have any questions, hit me up. I'll leave my contact info right over here. that's pretty much it.
Awesome.
So, thanks, man.
Thanks.